Pokemon the movie joins Pokemon the video game and Pokemon the trading card as must-sees and must-haves.
So what exactly is a Pokemon? Cute, cuddly characters who become supercharged so they can fight their enemies. But some experts say the entire Pokemon phenomenon is the enemy.
In my opinion, parents should not let their kids watch Pokemon, play Pokemon, buy Pokemon cards, have anything whatsoever to do with Pokemon.
If you guys don't know what Pokemon is, you're in need of some serious remedial toy education.
Pokemon has had its ups and downs, and so far in this series, so have we. On September 26, 2024, we started this challenge with two things: $100 and an idea. And now, about 5 months later, we've turned that $100 into about $1,000 in stock on eBay, plus about $700 in budget that we can spend. But more importantly, we turned that idea into a reality. 5 months later, we now have 93 cards out of the 102 that we need. And out of the 9 cards we need, only 3 of them are actual Pokemon. If this is your first episode and you're tuning in for the very first time, you've missed quite a bit. So we need 1 holo and 2 rares. And the rest are just trainer cards and a double colorless energy. Let's complete and finish this already. Finish it. Before we celebrate and get ready to do this all over again with Fossil and Jungle, let's take a look at what we can actually find in the wild, and let's complete this set. I know I've said that at the start of the last few episodes, but let's actually complete the set. Let's not fail this time. Alright, well, this Kangaskhan from Jungle isn't going to help us right now. Maybe if we completed the base set, I could start looking for Jungle cards, but we're not there just yet. Oh, great, now we're seeing some Fossil cards. Wonderful. Everything but base set cards. Realistically, it's not really that surprising since before even getting the chance to really get started here, I heard back from someone I messaged last episode. He has 2 cards for us. So I put on my jacket and left, not knowing that this transaction was not going to go according to plan. I'm on my way right now to go pick up 2 cards we need. We're getting a Clefairy doll and a double colorless energy for $20. The really cool thing about getting the energy is that it's the last uncommon card that we need in the set, so I'm definitely pretty excited. I'll let you guys know what happens. Unfortunately, things don't always turn out the way that you hope. Alright, it's been about 25 minutes and the guy hasn't shown. I sent him a message but haven't heard back yet, and he hasn't even looked at my message yet, so I don't know. Maybe something came up, maybe he had like an emergency or something, but I'm sure at some point he's gonna... So I waited, and after waiting for about an hour without hearing back, I decided to go back home. It's time to look for some cards again. Back to the drawing board. While driving home and feeling a little disappointed, we received a message that turned this day around. These messages are coming in, one after the next. We haven't even had the chance yet to go over everything that's sold since the last episode. Anyway, I pulled over and arranged for a time that we can meet with the seller. He has 1 card that we need, and it isn't just any card. It is the last of the holographic cards we're looking for. We are going to pick up a Chansey card. Once we get this, we have every single holo in the original base set. Let's hope he shows up. Thankfully, everything went smoothly, and I was getting ready to bring this card home. If only I knew what this week had in store for me. So I just got home and we have some sales from last episode to go over. I know at the start of last episode we were at $740 in our budget. We did buy a few things, and a couple things did sell, so where are we? How much do we have? After the expenses from last episode, that put our current budget at about $576. Then we had to go through all of the sales we made since last episode, which was 31 different items totaling to about $250. The sales that stood out were the PS1 games that we got a couple episodes back. Notably, we eventually sold every single one. We sold a few music CDs and even a couple of Pokemon cards. We sold another 5-card lot in auction for about $6.25. We sold a Blaine's Ninetales we picked up about 3 months ago in episode 2 for $8.50 after fees, and this Ivysaur, also from episode 2, for almost $4. So once we tallied up all the sales and expenses, including the $35 we spent on the Chansey this episode, we were currently sitting at a total budget of $787.53. So just like in the last episode, our budget is not the problem. We definitely have the money for this right now, thanks to everything that we did in the previous episodes, but the question is, can we catch them all? And then, just like with the deal for Chansey, out of nowhere, holy shit, we just found a listing of 31 vintage cards, and would you look at that, it has almost every trainer card that we need. Every trainer except for the Scoop Up and the Item Finder. And you know what? Not just that. Then I saw something that genuinely put a smile on my face. For those that saw episode 5, remember when I said this? So I went ahead and removed every single shadowless card here, eager to replace them. And after going through all the cards that we just got, it looks like we're able to replace every single shadowless card with the original version. Except for one. This Weedle right here. Yes, there is a Weedle in here. When everyone doubted us, we ventured through uncharted waters, took down the greatest of obstacles, and did something that only every single child playing Pokemon and every bug catcher in the entire Pokemon universe was able to do. We caught a Weedle. Back to reality. It looks like it's not a shadowless card, so we should be able to replace it with the final card in our binder that doesn't really make much sense. While on my way, I was suddenly feeling really lucky with how everything's turning out so far. The amazing thing about this is that the guy who never showed up earlier in the episode to sell us the double colorless and the Clefairy doll, well, we're getting both those cards anyways in this deal. So it's just crazy how we spend like 5 or like 6 months trying to find these two cards. We don't see them at all, and then suddenly over the course of the last few days, looking back and remembering how I felt during this moment was definitely pretty nice. If only I knew at the time what was still yet to come. Now, even though we picked up all the cards and everything went smoothly and according to plan, there were still a few things I was pretty uncertain about. Like, what do we do with the fossil cards in here? Do I list them? What if I complete the entire set this episode? Then I'd be able to use them as part of the next series, you know, completing the jungle and fossil set. And should I complete them one at a time or complete them together at the same time since each set has less cards? So yeah, there's still some things I need to work out. For now though, I decided to put these aside, and if I can get every card that we need this episode, I'll keep the fossil cards. If the episode ends and the base set hasn't been completed yet, we won't be keeping them and they'll be put up for sale on eBay along with all the others. Speaking of eBay, we finally posted all the CDs from last episode. There were 31 CDs that either were too scratched to be able to play or had no disc inside. So we actually listed 74 CDs from the original 115. And since we paid $50 for all 74 CDs we listed, that put the cost per CD to about 68 cents each. And the total after fees that we can get once everything sells is $522.41 on our $50 investment. That's crazy. I can imagine how much this would be worth if we didn't have to get rid of 31 CDs, but that's just the nature of reselling. Whenever you see something for sale, there's a chance that stuff might be missing or damaged. And that's totally fine. There's still so much money to be made, even with something that some people might consider not really all that popular, like music CDs. And it also looks like we've almost broken even on this deal already. Now, on the eBay account we're using for this challenge, we sold 5 of these CDs in the first 6 days. And after fees, we'd make about $24.50 on the 5 CDs. So I may have jumped the gun a bit when I said that we broke even, but hey, we made half our money back on this purchase in less than a week. And we still have about almost $500 that we can make from this one $50 purchase alone. I'd say that's pretty good.
Wow.
The rest of the day passed, and the only thing worth mentioning was this one nice sale that we made. This Forza Horizon Limited Collector's Edition that we picked up in episode 1 when this all started put about $50 in our pockets after fees. I went to bed early that night, which was a great thing because tomorrow was going to be huge. The day started very strong. Within the first hour of being awake, we received a message, and incredibly enough, it was for every single base set card that we need. We're finally gonna finish the set. Yeah, right, not even close. But these toys are still available. That's something, right? I don't know anything about these, but for $20 you can't really go wrong, right? I don't know, maybe you can. But we're about to find out. We picked them up and once again began the process of listing them. I've never really sold Hot Wheels before, so I'm sure this will take some time to get everything listed. Before starting to list them, I sent out a few messages to some people and didn't hear back right away. There weren't really many options online at this point. Maybe I needed to start looking into local card shops. I don't really need many cards. Maybe they have what we're looking for. Then we heard back from someone I was hoping would message us. Okay, so someone just got back to us about some cards that we really wanted. He told me the cards are currently reserved for someone else. Oh, this is so discouraging. He's basically selling every card that we need for $110. Well, every card except for the item finder. So it looks like the chances of finishing the set this episode don't really look too great. This was pretty much the listing we were hoping for, and it looks like we're not losing hope. We will continue trying to find everything we need. So I went ahead and messaged a few more people for some cards, and shifted my attention to the Hot Wheels. After listing about 8 cars on eBay, that put the value of this toy lot to about $43. And then it happened. Another message just came in. The cards actually are available. Through sheer luck and to my absolute surprise, that listing that had almost every card that we need is now available. The guy who wanted the cards before me apparently asked for the seller to deliver the cards to him, and he wasn't about to do that, so let's go see which cards will have a permanent home in the binder. So after picking everything up and accounting for everything, we have every card except for one. We are now missing an item finder. We have all the commons, the uncommons, the rares, and the holos. We are now one card away from achieving our goal from nearly half a year ago. I couldn't help but realize the irony in that the only card I can't find is an item that helps you find stuff. If only I had an item finder to help me find this item finder. And when I was done thinking up that joke that literally 0 people laughed at, I learned something that was gonna change everything. We found an item finder. The seller is overcharging for it, but I honestly don't care at this point. He says the prices are firm, so I'm not gonna negotiate with him or explain that he's selling a $10 card for $20. No more talking about it. Let's put a nail in this coffin and call it a day. Let's go complete the base set. Throughout the shooting of this last episode, especially during this drive to go find the item finder, it occurred to me that for the last month or so, I've been stopping what I'm doing to remind myself to try to remember these moments. Remember the times during this challenge and try to remember exactly how I felt when going to pick up these cards. Always try to remember these little things because it's likely that since this is the very first set that I've ever completed on this channel, it will always mean the most to me, no matter how many more I complete. Although it feels like one hell of an accomplishment and I'm proud of what was done here today, the completion of this base set comes with something a lot more important to me than just Pokemon cards. Memories. That's what nostalgia is all about. Temporarily going back in time to a period where things like Pokemon cards were the most important things in the world. Chasing that feeling I had when I was a kid, when I got my first ever Blastoise pulled from a base set pack that had a Venusaur on it over 25 years ago, or trading cards for the very first time. While it is impossible to go back in time, I gotta say, this feels pretty damn close. So for the last time in this series, thank you again for watching. Thank you for supporting me throughout this ride, and hopefully I'll see you again when we move on to the next set of cards. And that was the story of how I completed the original base set of Pokemon cards with $100.